Our final story is from Kenya. The East African country is struggling with a new epidemic. It's heroin addiction. Once a passing stop on the smuggling route to America and Europe, Kenya has now become a full-fledged drug market, and caught in the crossfire of this global heroin trade are thousands of Kenyans whose lives have been destroyed by the highly addictive drug. Here's more on Kenya's hidden heroin crisis.
When talking about Kenya, the first thing that comes to mind is its grassy lands, dense forests, high mountains, wildlife, food and culture. But the East African country that attracts millions with its incredible natural beauty is now facing a major health threat. Highly addictive heroin is destroying lives in Kenya. Once just a transit hub for the global drug smuggling trade, the country has become a major destination in itself for heroin. The addiction is rampant, especially along the coastal regions of Mombasa and Lamu Island.
In the initial days, the east coast of Africa was seen mostly as a transit region in the drug trade. But over time, we see that remnants of these drugs remain behind, and people start to use those kind of drugs. And with time, we see there is an evolving market that has been created. So if you look at Kenya, for example, initially Kenya was seen as a transit market, but it has become more and more of a destination market for illicit drugs.
Kenya's fight with heroin addiction has much to do with its geographical location, which experts call the southern route. Since the late 1990s, countries in Southwest and Southeast Asia have been smuggling drugs to the US and Europe via East African nations. The United Nations estimates that more than 22 tons of heroin alone move through the East African coast globally. Traffickers use seaports and airports in Kenya, Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Tanzania and Somalia as transit points for drugs.
When we look at illicit trafficking of drugs, we have what we call the southern route. And this is the longer route from heroin production fields in Afghanistan off the Makran coast, where traffickers do traffic heroin from Afghanistan through the east coast into the Indian Ocean, all the way down to southern Africa, and then through the west coast of Africa as they tried to reach markets within the Americas and then also in Europe.
Drug syndicates initially chose the East Africa route due to its ineffective border controls, regional cooperation, as well as the lack of criminal justice systems, all of which unfortunately still holds true. The situation has worsened in the last 15 years. Countries like Kenya have now turned into flourishing markets for drugs. Young people are seen wrapping up heroin, lighting and taking deep drags as they struggle to battle their addiction and the guilt that comes with it.
It is a very bad addiction, but it is ignored by the community, government, and other organizations which think it is the will of the person to continue using. But it is small reasons that drive you to start using, and when you use, it stabilizes your body, brain, and your feelings. It puts you in a trance, and you don't understand yourself. Time flies, and you are just there. You don't think.
To combat this challenge, Kenya has also started offering methadone, a medication that helps addicts quit drugs.
It is a very big challenge to us, and we've tried several means to deal with or to come about the use of drugs. So we started to have the methadone clinic.
According to the Kenyan Health Ministry, around 27,000 citizens either inject or smoke heroin, although global NGOs say the figure can be much higher. And with $160 million worth of heroin coming into the Kenyan market every year, the number of drug addicts is expected to grow even faster.